From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10. Live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight,
hello and welcome. Tonight is a sad day for the academic community as former ASU President Professor Festus dies in a fatal car accident in Lokoja, Kogi State. House of Representatives discusses the postponement of budget presentation by President Jonathan. Edo State Governor, his supporters and political allies celebrate 5 years of Adams Oshiomhole's administration. And the United Nations launches an appeal for $301 million to help relief efforts in typhoon-ravaged areas of the Philippines.
And tonight on Business News, IMF urges the federal government to refocus its spending, advises on investment expenditure.
And on sports news, Nigeria's Super Eagles prepare to scale the final hurdle in a bid to pick the final World Cup ticket 2014.
From Abuja, former Commonwealth Secretary General Emeka Anyoko supports holding of national dialogue. President Jonathan gives thumbs up to the National Assembly for being a pillar in nation building. Plus, Taraba acting governor defied court order swearing 6 new commissioners. We begin tonight on a rather sad note. The renowned activist, writer and university teacher Festus has died in a road accident around Lokoja, the capital of Kogi State, north-central Nigeria. Dr. who was once president of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, was on his way to the National Congress of the Lecturers Union in Kano, northwest Nigeria, when the accident occurred. The car in which he was traveling was said to have collided head-on with another car in the convoy of Governor Idris Wada of Kogi State. Professor was known for his radical and sometimes tough stance on social and political issues. As a result of his radical posture during his leadership of ASU, he was detained in 1988 while the union was briefly banned. It was in that same year that he won the Commonwealth Prize for Literature for his book, Heroes. The late was 66 years old. President Goodluck Jonathan has formally written to the National Assembly asking to lay the 2014 budget next week. In a letter to the House of Representatives, the President asked that he be allowed to lay the document on the 19th of this month without stating any specific reason for the postponement. Members of the House of Representatives say the change in date is good as it allows the House to complete its work on the 2014-2016 medium-term expenditure framework and financial strategy paper. Our correspondent, Lanre Lasisi, has the report.
The letter from the President was one of the first items treated by the House. The Speaker read the letter.
Emergent circumstances have necessitated my having to request for a new date of Tuesday, 19th November 2013. At the same time, it is my hope that the honourable members will, in their usual tradition, favorably consider my request.
Speaking afterwards, some lawmakers said the postponement will give them time to work on the 2014 to 2016 medium-term expenditure framework and financial strategy paper.
It's not unexpected, and we're not so much bothered because we still have 1 or 2 green areas that we need to work on.
Yeah, I think it's the right step in the right direction, as this will enable the House at least 1 week to work on the MTF document, and as such look at the budget performance for the year 2013 that is currently ongoing.
Others felt more attention should be on the performance of the yearly budgets.
But we wanted him to come so that I could be able to hear from him and also to show our reactions based on what is happening. We represent people. We know exactly the kind of expenditure we wish to make when we go back to our constituents. So this kind of budget issue is a very sensitive issue because people are not seeing exactly what they're expected to see.
It is when we implement our budgets that our people will get the dividend of democracy, that development will come, that we will develop infrastructures. They won't come by magic. If your budget is performing at abysmal level of maybe 40-something%, 30-something%, how will you achieve all these things?
But will the late work on the MTEF not lead to a confrontation with the executive over the budget?
Yes, if you have a benchmark budget premised on an MTEF proposed by the executive, presented to Parliament, still under consideration, not yet approved, and you have a budget premised on that. Of course, if the Parliament has reason to tinker with that figure, of course, then it has an impact.
So the House of Representatives has appealed to the committees working on the MTEF to expedite action and complete their work on the document so it can be adopted by the House before the week runs out. Lanre Lasese, Channels Television News.
The House of Representatives has mandated a joint committee of the House to investigate the alleged involvement of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, with Swiss oil dealers in deals that cost the federal government billions of dollars. This resolution followed a motion by Abiodun Abudu Balogun, who drew attention to a report by a Swiss advocacy agency alleging schemes employed by the NNPC and foreign oil companies to dupe the country of over $6.8 billion. The lawmaker said in view of the damaging allegations contained in the report, the House needs to investigate. The Joint Committee is expected to report to the House within 4 weeks. Meanwhile, as the House of Representatives prepares to consider the request for an extension of the state of emergency in 3 northeast states, the President has sent a report on the current situation in the affected states to the lawmakers. The letter had hardly been read by the Speaker when a point of order was raised by the Minority Leader of the House, Femi Gbajabiamila. The Minority Leader said the House should allow members consider the report before voting on the request for an extension.
Pursuant to my letter requesting the Honorable House of Representatives to extend the period of state of emergency in Adamawa, Borno, and Edo States, please find attached a brief report by the Chief of Army Staff on the current situation in the affected areas.
Mr. Speaker, I believe beyond even privileges, I think this House is duty bound to consider the status so far, the situation on ground. I know you have read the communication that he has said he has attached a letter from the Chief of Army Staff. My point of order, Mr. Speaker, is that before we even debate or begin to decide whether we will extend, that status report needs to be sent to every single member of this House. I do not know when we intend to take this debate, but this debate cannot be taken without us knowing what is on ground and whether or not, which will inform whether or not this House will grant that extension. That is my point of order.
The House has noted their concern.
The Edo State government today marked its 5th anniversary under the leadership of Governor Adams Oshemole. The venue of the celebration is the Samuel Ogunudia Stadium in Benin City, where leaders of All Progressive Congress, including Mr. Bisi Akonde, former Lagos Governor Bola Tinubu, former Head of State General Muhammadu Buhari, Mr. Tom Ikimi, and other party leaders were in attendance. The State Governor Adams Oshemole spoke of his administration's achievements in executing infrastructure projects and job creation.
The Samuel Ogwemudia Stadium was alive with hundreds of people who came to celebrate the 5th year anniversary. Youth groups, women's groups, Edo State indigents in their numbers, saluting the banners referred to as Comrade Governor.
This is a song!
The event was not without invited guests, key players in Governor Oshemele's political party, the All Progressives Congress, whose presence and show of support did not go unheralded.
Now completed
Not one to blow his own trumpet, but Governor Shomale stuck to his guns in reeling out his administration's achievements.
From Edo South to Edo Central, from Edo Central to Edo North, our people are witnessing new roads, new schools, new health centers in Esa land, where they told us that water is impossible. As we speak, they are fetching water in Ekoma, they are fetching water in Iruekwe, they are fetching water in Igwebe, they are fetching water in Ewehimi, they are fetching water across the length and breadth of Edo State.
While former head of state Muhammadu Buhari told the people of Edo State to seek a power shift at the federal level from the PDP to the APC.
It is very important that you who are here try and pass the message to our neighbors, to our relatives, and to the rest of your people. The APC is here to take over 2015 and manage this country efficiently.
Our House of Assembly has risen to the occasion by prescribing death penalty and have demonstrated will to deal with criminals by signing death penalty of those who have been condemned to death. Edo State is no longer safe for any criminal because this governor will sign death warrant as many as will come my way. So anyone who wants to live has a choice. Don't commit an offense that will lead to death penalty.
Former Governor of Lagos State, Senator Bola Tinubu, was not without his own clarion call for change, calling Edo State a progressive state, one where power resides with the people.
Congratulations, Adam. Congratulations, our dear brother. You've redefined the sense of patriotism, because patriotism is not about itself, about oneself. It's about the people, about the state, and about the country.
It yet remains 3 years of Adams Oshomale's administration before he calls it a day, after which the comrade governor, as he says, would have delivered to the people the dividends of democracy. Olumide McCoy, Channels Television News.
And for more on the scorecard of the Edo State Governor, we now join our political correspondent, Seun Okinbaloye, live in Benin City for a chat with the Governor. Hi, Seun.
Thank you, Bimbo. Thank you for joining us, Governor, on News 10. I must say congratulations on your 50th anniversary. Let me start by asking you, 5 years is a long time to achieve a lot. Can you beat your chest and say you have achieved a lot for the people of Edo State?
I think just last year there was a referendum on my stewardship. I call it a referendum because, first time in office, you make promises, you promise heaven and earth, you will do X, Y, Z. Some believe you, some will believe you, some will let's wait and see. But 5 years down the road, we Edo people across the 18 local government areas, they are counting their gains. We have delivered to a level that people are asking, where is the money coming from? Because after all, democracy has been here since 1999. And, the people were led to believe that this state is not viable. We made all the difference. So, as of this point, I think we are looking at how much have we done. The people are there to verify within Benin City, in the rural areas, in all aspects, water, road, school, electricity, all the key areas, those basic needs that affect the ordinary man on the street. So I'm fulfilled, I'm humbled by what we've got. And it is easy for you to get the people with you the first time because they trust that you are going to keep your word. The test is in your second term, when the people have had opportunity, to look at what you've done in the first term and ask themselves whether you have justified the first mandate to decide whether or not to give you a second chance. The fact that for the first time in the history of Edo State, in the history of Bende State, it will go on record that I'm the first governor who, after serving for 4 years, the people unanimously, I use the word unanimity in the sense that across the 18 local government areas, I won in the last election, in an election that was conducted by federal INEC, not based on any cheating, not based on any manipulation. So I think we have acquitted ourselves. But this is not to say that we have solved all the problems. We didn't promise that we will solve all the problems, but we did promise that we will be able to demonstrate convincingly that Nigeria problems are not insurmountable. That with all that people may say about what is wrong with Nigeria, this nation is much more than the sum total of all those problems. And it is possible to make a difference, to carry the people along, and I believe that we have demonstrated beyond doubt. And we have the support of the people.
In your first 5 years, you focused on road constructions, provision of potable water, rehabilitation of the school facilities. What would you be concentrating on this time around? Now,
all of that can be reduced to one thing. We try to create an enabling environment for sustainable growth and development. Roads are good, but more to the extent that they attract investors to come and invest in the state. Roads are important in terms of providing access for our farmers, whether small scale or large scale, to evacuate their farm produce to the market. Electricity is fine to the extent that it enables us to locate industries across the state. Right now, we are buffeted with all kinds of inquiries, and all kinds of investors are beginning to trip to Edo State in the area of agriculture. People want more land to plant palm trees. People want more land in agriculture for rice, for crops, for all sorts of things. With other our PPP programs, we believe that given our geopolitical location, given the huge gas deposit in our state, a number of people who are interested in power generation are not only showing interest, they are already effectively on ground here. We have a fertilizer plant that is already in place. We have created an industrial park, not with public funds, by individuals who, on account of what we've achieved, are now willing, and they now see Edo as a potential location. I remember what Nigeria's most outstanding investor said to me, Elaji Aliko Dangote. He said, once we can create that power sector, which by our location, we are destined to be a power hub of Nigeria, that it will be a lot easier to invest in Edo State than any other part of the country. And so we are already beginning to see how we can leverage on our initial investment on infrastructure to attract private sector, because the long-term challenge of fighting poverty, of creating wealth, has to be located in terms of the role of the private sector, taking advantage of the infrastructure to locate businesses. And if you look at even the number of planes that are now coming to Benin, by 2007 when I was contesting, it was only one associated airline that used to come here. Today, we have more than 5 flights going in and out of Benin, which shows that the level of businesses, the traffic, the movement, that people are going to take advantage of what has changed. Above all, it is now clear in development literature that nations are rich or poor, not by reference to how much natural endowment, solid minerals, liquid minerals, whether you call it oil or whatever. That what defines failure from success is the quality of human capital. And the foundation of that is education, which is why we are focusing on that. I will see people moving back from, mushroom private schools to well-established public schools. All right.
Your Excellency, you need to be brief about it because of our time. Let me ask you, your address to the people at the Samuel Ogbomedia Stadium today, you told your supporters that you will not stop signing death warrant for kidnappers on other people on death row. For right groups, death penalty is no more fashionable. Will this deter you?
Who define what is fashionable? See, the problem is that, there are few people who arrogate to themselves, that when they speak, the word is speaking. Like I said to some foreigners who said to me that there is a moratorium. And I said, moratorium by who? We are part of the international community. And when we look at the numbers, if you add the population of China to that of India, to that of Nigeria and several other countries, nations and people who believe in death penalty are far much more than the few who do not. And those few cannot arrogate to themselves a level of superiority because they are not superior. And if we are democrats, about numbers. I think that nations make laws to reflect their peculiar circumstances. And I am committed that when I swore to oath of office, I did promise to obey the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, not resolutions or undomesticated suggestions by nation state. So I will sign that penalty. And right now there are some on the roll who has gone through all the procedures, and I will sign it.
All right.
Because people have the right to abstain. When you say human right, the right to live is the most fundamental.
I'm afraid we don't have more time on the News at 10. Thank you for talking to us on the News at 10. Congratulations once again.
Thank you very much.
It's back to you now, Bimbo. It's back to you now, Bimbo.
Thank you very much, Sheung. Our correspondent, Sheung Okinbalori, has been chatting live with the Governor of Edo State, Comrade Adams Oshomale, as he celebrates 5 years in office. In part 2, after the break, we'll be joining our Abuja studios for more on the News at 10, plus reactions on the suspension of Olagunsoye Unola from the PDP. That's in a moment. Do stay with us.